We liked him right until that moment.
Okay, let's cut the podcast.
They're action figures, obviously.
I didn't say I agree with all. I was wondering what the correct language was.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Dry Bar Comedy Podcast, the only podcast where you get to hang out with your favorite dry bar comedians, get to know them, have some laughs. I'm one of the co-hosts, Jordan Macon. I'm joined by
The other co-host, as usual, Taylor Nielsen.
Taylor. If you were to give this upcoming episode one word to describe it, what would you say?
Wes Austin.
Well, that's
Oh, I spoiled the
that's all right. I mean,
I would say, let's try that again. Ask me again. We won't cut that last part because that was funny, but let's do it. Ask me a question again.
Taylor, if you were to describe this upcoming episode in one word, what would you say?
I'd say ostentatious.
Oh, there's a little bit of a teaser in there, and I love it.
Teaser.
I love it. Well, I think we should roll the clip and get our guests in here. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Everybody relax. I'm a patent lawyer. Which means I don't know how to do anything, really. I'm worthless. A patent lawyer is a lawyer in the same sense that a mall cop is a cop.
You've seen him on his Dry Bar special, The Mall Cop of Lawyers, and on his YouTube channel, Headlines, where he's got over 100,000 subscribers. Give it up for Wes Austin.
Yeah.
There he is.
Thank you.
There he is.
Wes, I have a question for you right off the bat.
Okay.
So you're a lawyer and a comedian. And my question is, do you think you're better than me?
Right off the bat with the tough question. Can I answer for Wes?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, you are better than me. I knew the answer. I just wanted to ask.
No. I'm less. I'm less than. You don't have people hate you right when you walk in a room.
Nobody
I do.
hates you.
I don't know.
That's funny. You do feel like, though, when you tell people that you're a lawyer on stage, the room chills a little bit.
I swear it does. I've got this mental thing where I hardly ever bring it up on stage because I feel like the whole crowd just like, we liked him right until that moment. And now we think he's kind of a jerk. I don't do those bits as much as I should just because I'll usually do them in a longer set, like when I'm headlining, when I feel like, okay, they know me enough to where I can bring it up and they won't walk out. Just trying to not walk the whole room.
I think the crowd in your clip responded well to it. You got some laughs.
I think I got a few.
Lawyer.
I think I'm sure I got a few looks. Like, check, please.
Do you think that stems from... Where do you think that stems from? Like the dislike of lawyers?
I don't know. Well, you got the kill all lawyers. What are that? There wasn't that in Shakespeare, and then ever since then, it's been in movies and book titles. And
there was Shakespeare where he wrote "Kill all lawyers."
I think there's a line from a Shakespearean play where it says "Kill the lawyers."
The Shakespeare Manifesto.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not lying, but I'm pretty sure that's like the original spot.
Was it in iambic pentameter? You're the thespian here. Iambic pentameter.
Oh, wait,
I'm not a thespian. Oh, I am. I forgot what thespian means. Thespian. I'm happily married.
I just want to clarify. Was I correct in calling it iambic pentameter?
Iambic pentameter. Yeah.
That's the way Shakespeare wrote.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm sorry. What is that? I don't even know.
We bring it up every podcast, and
You find a way to work it in every pod.
he wrote the lines of. This is somebody that doesn't know it all. He wrote the lines of the plays in a kind of
Pentameter.
There's just a flow to it that helps people memorize it. That's why
Sort
it's
of an iambic flow.
yeah.
Okay.
Like if I were to put it into words, it's like a iambic pentameter.
I think it has something to do with the amount of syllables each line has.
So it made it easier to memorize because he's a little wordy.
Okay.
He could tighten those things up, I thought.
So kind of like a rhyme, a Shakespearean rhyme, sort of.
Yeah, it's not really a rhyme, but it's a flow of the language to help people memorize it. I took a drama class in 7th grade that I'm pulling this from right now.
Man, that's incredible.
It might also have to do with the amount of syllables in each word. Like there's a pattern of syllables.
Yeah.
And this is all.
Do you do that in
this
your
is all
comedy?
hypothesis.
Comments are gonna blow up with people very upset. We do not know what we're talking about. That's sometimes you reach for a joke as a comedian, and then you really dig yourself a hole.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's nice when you think I've got one that I know it's going to work, and you just do it on stage and just nothing, and then everybody in the room knows, like, oh, that was dumb. Like, oh, I've done that.
See.
Wes, I think you're harder on yourself than anybody else. Do you agree with this?
I probably do. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one where, depending on how the crowd is, I walk off and go, yeah, I crushed. Like, you've never heard me say I've crushed. And maybe just because I suck all the time. But usually some comics will occasionally say, yeah, I crushed. But I've never said that. My best is usually, they didn't hate me as much as I thought they would.
It's better that, I think, than always leaving the stage, regardless of the response, and being like, I murdered.
I'm a lawyer and a king.
Yeah.
I do want to say Wes is not joking about this. I've done many shows with Wes, and that's the best response to him coming off of me like, they didn't hate me that much. That's kind of like your top.
I know,
And I go, you killed it, man. You were great. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us about, are there aspects of being a lawyer that have translated into comedy that you can
Good question.
take from?
Oh, man. That is... I'm trying so hard to think of something that would be... Not a lot. Not a lot. I mean...
Separate worlds, almost.
Yeah.
Is there stuff about being a lawyer that made it harder?
It's like, everything's kind of the opposite. So in the law world, no one's laughing. And in the comedy world, people are laughing. And in the law world, you get paid for things. And in the comedy world, you don't. Well, you guys probably do. But yeah, no, I can't think of... I was hoping I could translate more of my law stuff into comedy, but I did the thing about the weird patents that I've tried a few bits about.
Yeah.
And we want to ask you about that too.
Oh, okay.
And also the fact that comedy's all about being authentic, honest, truth in comedy, and being a lawyer. I mean, kill all lawyers, right?
We don't support that.
We don't.
Shakespeare said,
did.
Not
I'm quoting
us.
Shakespeare.
He said it in iambic pentameter.
If he wouldn't have made it so dang easy to remember with that iambic pentameter,
it really does flow well.
Yeah, there's really no truth, because with law, like my bachelor's degree was in engineering. So in engineering, electrical engineering, there's always an answer. It's
right.
This many amps, this many watts, everything.
Which you liked that about engineering?
Yes, I liked it. You could figure out how to do stuff. And then in law school, they kind of teach you there's no right answer. You just need to argue both ways all the time. What's the answer? Well, what do you want it to be? Like, what? You mean there's not an answer? So that's kind of, so there is truth. Is like, what do you mean by truth? I don't know what that even is in the lawyer's world. Because I'm going to make my own truth.
Maybe that's kind of like comedy then, in the fact there's no right joke. Do you feel that way?
No right joke?
Like there's no perfect joke?
With listeners, have you seen Heck Boy?
Besides the special Heck Boy, which will forever remain in the Dry Bar Hall of Fame.
Jordan did see kind of offended when you were saying that. He's like,
there's no perfect joke.
I was looking
You've
right
seen
at
my
Jordan.
act. You've seen my act many times.
Well, it's the fact you're always telling me there are perfect jokes and that you've written them.
And I found them, and I've crafted them, and I do have a patent on all of them, so don't touch it, Wes.
But what I'm saying is comedy has a little more gray area than engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what Taylor's saying, too, correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
but the approaching truth from different angles, comedy sometimes is the funniest when you look at something and you're seeing all the different beats of a joke, or seeing it from different angles, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. Not what I was saying, but a really good point. Really good.
Yeah. And then you've got, that's a good way to put it, because you've got, sometimes you have an idea as a comic and you think, I think this is funny, and then you try it from different angles and it just keeps bombing. But you love it so much that you're gonna make it work.
You're gonna find it.
Yeah, I've got several right now where I'm like just eating it so far. I'm like, gotta keep coming at it from different angles. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I wonder just like about the precision of language and meaning as far as like writing out patent stuff and writing jokes. Yeah. But it might not be related.
No, I mean with like the patent applications, when you're writing those, like the words, every single word means, it's so important what you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
Because they can misconstrue. So I guess in that respect, it really is, right? Because if you put the wrong word in a punchline, it can just make it weird. Or you say it slightly differently, like, why didn't they laugh? So it's, I guess in that respect, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sometimes crazy just how switching a word to something else makes it work. That's like, that kind of blows my mind when that happens. When it's never been working, like maybe I'll say laptop
cinnamon
instead
sugar.
of cinnamon sugar, yeah. He's trying to bring out my first joke.
Jordan's first joke.
Only because I still use it 10 years later.
Oh.
You know my joke
because
when I say
it was a perfect joke?
It was
What do you want me?
It was an iambic pentameter. It's memorable.
Cinnamon sugar.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I talk about if I am in the sun too long, I disintegrate into a pile of cinnamon sugar.
Oh, I did.
That was a small piece of the very first joke I did.
Okay.
There was about 3 minutes around that joke that didn't have any laughs.
Okay.
So I've sliced that out, popped it into another perfect joke sandwich. Am I coming off as likable in this podcast, or am I coming off really poorly?
This podcast?
Yeah, just this one. We don't need to worry about the others right now.
I do think at the end you're going to advertise Jordan's comedy class that you can take.
It's the Shakespearean comedic iambic pentameter. Follow me in.
Perfect punchline, yeah.
Sorry I killed the show, everybody.
No, I'm sorry I brought it up. And I want to ask you a little bit about your path to comedy.
Okay.
How you found your way to the first open mic you ever did.
So I wanted to be a comedian when I was a new lawyer, but I was too scared to do it. It was right around the time that Wise Guys first opened. I thought, okay, here it is. So I went.
And really? So back in like 2001, 2002?
Yeah, it was right around 2001, 2002. And I was too scared to get on stage.
Was that the Ogden Wise Guys only?
No,
I don't know which one's open.
I thought it was out in West Valley.
Yeah, that one had been there for a while too, yeah.
But I was too scared to get on stage. I went 3 or 4 times, never got up. And then I thought, you know what? I'll do it later. It's too busy. So, and then I started, I don't know, a few years later, I started doing funny little videos. One of my friends saw them, another lawyer, and he called me and said, hey, you're an idiot. You're going to get fired. Nobody's going to hire you. Yeah. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So he scared the crap out of me. I deleted my website, deleted the videos. I was out.
What were the videos about? Like, what would you do?
They were all like bathroom humor. Like, I think one that was...
But was it like you doing stand-up, or was this
No,
talking?
it was me doing like little sketchy type, like sketch things where, like I can't even... How to go to the bathroom at night. The proper way to do that. That was one of the videos I did. Anyway,
Taylor's been asking me about that. Maybe you can send him that way.
Yeah, just
I still have it on the. So then I deleted everything. Got too scared again, and then finally 2014, I think, is when I started doing open mic again. So I'd be much better if I just would have started back in 2001 or 2 or whatever.
No, you're great, man. Were you a fan of stand up like growing up as a kid?
Yeah,
stand up comedy is always the thing. Who were you listening to?
Well, my favorites were some of the ones I remember. These are going to be objectionable, both of them.
That's okay. That's
fine.
Anyway?
Yeah.
Well, Bill Cosby himself was just huge. And then
okay, let's cut the podcast.
I knew it. I didn't. And then
you're not the first to say that.
Yeah, actually, I'd say most of the comedians have probably brought that up.
And then the other one was Sam Kinison. I know those don't go together, but I loved when Sam Kinison. No,
I see the Sam Kinison influence in you.
I would love to see you just scream like Sam Kinison.
Oh, man.
That's wild.
When he blew up, it was those are probably my two favorites, and I know they have not alike at all in any way, but
well, it's impressive that you've found your own style. You have these two comedy influences with a really distinct style, but you've managed to find your own without copying them, because a lot of people just kind of rip off their favorite comedian, like me and Jordan Macon. I'm still doing Jordan Macon to this day.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it.
I mean, usually when people see my stand-up, they'll say, that looks like a mix between Bill Cosby and Sam Kinison.
Somewhere
You know how you say that.
Every once in a blue moon, you have an open micer that comes that is doing a Sam Kinison, and it's so off-putting.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can pull that off just, like, screaming into a microphone of nonsense. But Sam became, like, a rock star about it. Did you watch his special where he legit is, like, playing, it's like he has a live band with him, and he has a guitar, and I'm like, what is this comedy special?
I think at that point, it seemed like he was maybe doing too many drugs. The earlier stuff, I tried to watch that one. I didn't
like that at all.
That one, but his earlier stuff, I think, yeah.
No, I know. I wasn't saying he's a bad comedian. He got so big that it was like, oh yeah, of course I'll do a comedy show with a live band and me with an electric guitar doing riffs between shows.
I'm a rock star now. That's kind of where he got,
That's where I want you to get, Wes. I want you with a live band.
I see more of like a bluegrass band or a folksy kind of thing with you, maybe.
Okay.
If you did perform with a band, would you agree?
What kind of band would you think I would?
I was going to say pop punk, but bluegrass. I was going to picture you
said
with
like 80s rock, which is my favorite.
Hair metal.
Yeah. One of
Okay.
my favorite channels is like hair metal. It's on, I think it's on Amazon. I don't know. But anyway.
I just realized that Taylor's an improv comedian, and I didn't yes and him. I did a no but.
With what? Oh,
With the bluegrass thing. I think it was bluegrass. I think
No.
not really. And I'm sorry, I shut you down there, Taylor.
that's fine.
Well, I've heard you're very anti-improv. Don't you have a whole bit about
Publicly
anymore.
very anti-improv. What?
Not anymore.
Shane?
We're like Romeo and Juliet, stand-up world, improv world, and we're
How many times are we going to bring up Shakespeare on this freaking podcast?
it's only the greatest writer of our century, millennium.
Yeah, but hated lawyers.
What year was he?
1920s. Does that sound right?
Did he get a Netflix special? Was it around? Never mind. Okay, sorry, Wes. Getting off the rails here.
Yeah, we're doing too much improv.
You didn't
here.
tell me I needed to review my history of like things so that I wouldn't look.
We needed you to because I obviously
Yeah,
haven't.
I didn't know either. Well, the best part is you volunteering so many Shakespeare facts without knowing any.
Never read one. He was a writer, right?
Good old Bill.
Wes, I do want to point to something that was a big change in your comedy. And your special, you're wearing a suit. And when you first started showing up to open mics, you were this guy in a suit that obviously was very successful in his career and hanging around all these just weird comedians that maybe
slovenly individuals.
Yeah, and you looked out of place a little bit. But then it became kind of your brand and was great. But then you've gone away from the suit. What was the decision making between
So when I
suit and no
first
suit?
started doing open mic, I was always coming right from work. So I was coming from the office, so I was dressed like that. So I just stayed how I was dressed for work. And that's kind of how it started. And I mean, I look back and I think, no wonder a lot of my stuff just ate it. Because if they're making jokes and I've got the cufflinks on with the starched shirt, you just... Come on. No, there had to have been anyway, I just felt like that nobody's going to think, oh, I hope this guy does well. He's got his starched shirts, French cuffs. Yeah, no, it's like, but when COVID hit, I stopped going into the office. Everything was remote. And so I didn't wear a suit anymore, tie. And that's kind of when I made the switch.
Right.
And I felt a little bit more. Were you going to laugh? You looked like you were going to laugh at me. Okay, it just looked like you were on the verge of a huge laugh.
I'm with an amazing comedian. I'm always ready to laugh.
But that's when I did feel more comfortable on stage. Not
with just
but it all
shirt
could
and
have
tie.
been mental. It all could have been mental, just like I was in my head.
So it really was just the convenience thing. It wasn't like, I'm not going to be a suit anymore.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I will say, when I remember, because you started just pretty soon after me. I feel like if you started in 2014, that's when you started going. I remember seeing you, and you look so different than everyone else there. But then I talked to you, and you're like the sweetest guy in the world, so you won me over. And I said, let this guy wear a suit. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember early on if you thought, this guy's the worst comedian ever? Or were you thinking...
Early on or later on?
Early on.
No, I never thought you were the worst. I've always been a fan of you, Wes.
Because I remember...
You're such a great host. You're such a good co-host.
I'm going to go cry after this.
Sorry. I was telling Taylor, I'm meanest to the people I love the most. So if I'm being kind of mean,
But when I started going to open mic, I remember I was trying to meet some people at open mic.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit like I just looked like this guy's a weirdo.
Right.
I remember going up to somebody, saying hello, introducing myself. He said hi. Then he got up and left. This was
one of your first open mics?
It was early, probably within the first couple of years.
Wait, is it somebody we know?
Yeah, and I'm not telling you who it is until after, but yeah. And I thought, man, how off-put am I? That I just, hey, how are you? I'm Wes. So-and-so. And then he just gets up and leaves.
He says, I'm trying to write a perfect joke right now.
The iambic pentameter is really confusing me right now.
So you get on stage for your first time. You remember your first joke that you did? I love asking this.
I think I tried to joke a little bit about my forehead. Because I always have felt like I have... And I know Jordan is probably thinking, why are you... No, it's just that...
I've been nothing but a gracious host.
No,
and you come in...
I know, I'm just saying, me complaining about it... Because anyway...
Yeah, when I got this little hog up here...
I feel terrible now because I didn't mean to.
I just it. The best part is he deserves it.
But I remember that. But it was like an out of body experience. I felt like I left my body and was just watching this. I was just so nervous.
It's insane how hyped up you are the first time you do it.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, it was.
The first time I did an open mic at Wise Guys, I threw up in the bathroom.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
Out of nerves, or did you eat something bad?
Do you know what I threw up? Celery.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I ordered a plate of like chicken fingers or wings or something with celery on the side.
Yeah.
And I just ate the celery because that's all I could eat because I was so nervous. And then I threw up in the bathroom. Threw up the celery in the bathroom. If you can picture that. Sorry.
Does that have anything to do with didn't you have a celery bit you were trying to get to work?
I was trying to get it to work.
No, I mean, I'm not. I just heard it earlier on, but
yeah,
the celery.
I did. I had a lot of material on celery that I wrote in some kind of fevered, writing session, and just all about celery.
It's an untapped topic for comedy, and he found it.
Yeah,
and I also found there's a reason why it's untapped. But you don't remember your first joke?
It was his forehead.
I think it was
was
something. I think it was something about my forehead, but I don't. But the crowd they told everybody it was my first time, so they were all really nice and laughing and acting like, oh, this guy. And then it was the second time where it was like, okay, you've been here before. We're not gonna.
I think that was my experience too. The first time I did well. The second time I did very poorly. That's kind of.
There was one time where I was so nervous that I couldn't. So the cord came out of the mic, and I could not, for the life of me, put it back in. That's
happened to me too.
In front of everyone, I was trying to put it back in, and I could not get it to go back in. And so I told them over the mic. I mean, I said, everybody, it doesn't fit. And I'm like, why would I say that? Of course it fits. It was just in. But I'm like, no, this. And then after like a minute, I think I was able to get it in, and it fit again. Oh, God.
Then your time was up.
It was so bad.
And that's when you patented The cordless mic.
That's right.
That's super funny. Yeah, that's interesting about you, Wes, because a lot of times when I watch you do stand-up, you talk about your forehead, you talk about looking like a weirdo, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is the most well put together guy.
You see these guns on him right now?
I know, yeah. Like he's ripped, he's talented, and he's
great hairline.
Oh, this is the nice part of the podcast. I like this.
Yeah, enjoy it. It's not lasting
This is where we
long.
build you up before we. Which brings me to my next question.
Well, can you tell us a little? You do some jokes about the weird patents that you see. Fart pillow is part of your special.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen any new patents recently? Anything come across the table that you want to share with the dry bar audience? Or are you allowed to talk about it?
I can only talk about stuff if it's become public. So if it's published or issued, then I can kind of talk about it.
What if I gave you $20?
I'm sure. Well,
Afterwards, I could probably talk about it. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I always worried about the fart pillow one because it's on. I didn't know if, because some people hate it when you do any material that has to do with, flatulence. But I felt like this invention to,
it's too good not to talk
deter
about.
the odor and the sound is such a weird take on it.
yeah.
But still, I don't know if people are like, yeah, but you should never say fart in a comedy bit. You can, right?
I think it's one of the classic,
Oh my
one
gosh!
of the original jokes.
Have you seen Fart Boy? His second.
Fart Boy, a deep dive into the flatulence of Shakespeare.
When you say the fart pillow, I'm like, as weird as the fart pillow is, I imagine the person who invented the fart pillow must be even more bizarre.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't know how you'd have the guts to be like, yeah, you know what? I've got a real problem. When I pass wind, it is so loud and smelly that I'm going to invent something. And I'm going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to try to get this patented. To walk in someone's office and to, man, that's
amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Did it get made?
I found online some pillows that I think they look like they're basically the same thing.
I don't need it. I just want to know if it was made.
No,
So it's there.
And if they come in different sizes or like, is
send
it
you
like a
Can you send me a link? I want to see it.
yeah.
just for a laugh,
But
just for a gas?
And if you're trying to get women to use them, just tell them that it's a special pillow from France. Don't say anything about the.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm just
France
saying. If you just say it's a pillow from France, they will use it and not. Just say it's a sitting pillow from France.
Okay.
They'll use it. I'm just saying. Let's say one of you. I'm just saying if your wife had this problem, you can't.
Isn't
You
there a
can't
name for
say-
a pillow from France? Like what's
Le pillow.
like a pousson or something?
Where's Armando when you need him?
Yeah,
Where's Armando?
Let's get back to comments. Or Shane. Shane had a take on France. What's your take on France, Wes?
We're not putting you.
Beautiful architecture. I don't love Paris that much, probably just because they seem like they hated me. But that's
Okay.
This is a common theme of places you walk into, Wes, where I have nothing but deep-rooted affection for you, so I don't understand it. Wes, what do you think about Canada? Well, I went there and it seemed like everybody hated me. So
Well, it's because I speak French there in Quebec.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It all stems from France.
You have some answering to do, France. This is a good man we have sitting next to
That's
us.
a good man. France.
Did I have the right answer on France?
I think
What
it was a very well dictated answer.
Articulate.
Okay. Yeah.
Relative truth. You got that in there? I think you nailed it.
I wanted to say I have a pentameter one more time, but I think it's run its course on this podcast.
You don't have any questions about Box Elder County for me?
I've got
That's where I grew up.
I've spent quite a bit of time in Box Elder County. I don't know if it will play with our national audience.
Okay, well. That's true. That's true. We should get more to the Fran. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we've got so many French audience. I need to cater
And now
to
the
them.
segment you've all been waiting for, Box Elder Chat with Jordan, Taylor, and Wes.
What's
I will
the
say that's a
deal?
weird name for what does that come from?
I don't know. There are
What does it mean?
there are box elder
You're going
bugs.
down this road.
Well, here's how. Okay.
I thought we just decided this was a bad subject, but then Jordan's like, he's like,
Sorry.
nobody's gonna listen to this anyway. Let's go. Let's talk about box elder.
Box Elder County is a county in Utah.
A lot of
North
farmland.
Utah.
A lot of
Northern.
lots of farmland, lots of dirt.
Yeah. It's not that northern. It's like
Isn't the northernmost
yeah,
corner?
let's get-
It's a northern, yeah.
I think Brigham City's in Box Elder.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
My family had a cabin in Huntsville, and my grandma was Miss Box Elder County.
Wow.
No joke.
No way.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So-
And she's actually here. Let's bring her out for the Box Elder segment. Here's because do you know the band Motion City Soundtrack? Either of you? They have a song called Box Elder. So I don't know if it's a thing outside of.
Well,
Wait.
you were bringing up the insect, right?
There's a box elder bug,
Oh.
but I don't know which came first.
I imagine.
Box elder bug or
I'm going to say the bug came first. What do you think?
They settled it. They settled that
Or-
land.
did they name the bug after? No,
Yeah.
because the bug was probably here first.
I think it's a national bug. I'm pretty sure it's like much like this podcast. Which that is hilarious. I don't know how we're going to get out of the box elder conversation black hole that we find ourselves in.
We've been talking silly patents, but what's your favorite? Like, oh, I'm so excited I got to do the patent for this thing.
Oh man.
Anything useful?
Well, I mean, I did a lot of really super nerdy stuff that's in a lot of your cell phones. So
Oh, yeah?
yeah, I did a lot of stuff for a lot of work for Qualcomm and a lot of the chips out there in their phones. See, you're so bored. Both of your eyes are so bored right now. You're like, why did we go down this? See, this is what happens.
Well, I asked the question. It's
not-
interesting to me.
I'm not fun at
I was
parties.
still
Nobody
thinking about
wants to
box
know.
elder county.
Yeah. You know, the funnest place, though, is to get ideas for inventions and things is at the comedy club.
Do people
Because
come up to
usually
you?
like almost every week, because they hear that and they're like, hey, I've got this. I'm like, okay. It's fine. I've heard all of them. It's just a nonstop.
Is mine coming along then?
The forehead
As
concealer
soon
is
as I
like
said that, I thought, oh my crap, Jordan's probably mad because I think he did do that once. And so
My brother growing up, my brother Zach, he was always like, I'm going to make this someday and it's going to be the biggest hit. And we're like, what is it? He's like, don't tell people because I'm really going to get a patent for this. And we're like, what is it? He's like, it's a tube of toothpaste where there's a cap on each end. So it doesn't get stuck at the bottom. You can squeeze it out both ways. What do you think about that, patent lawyer?
Does it still get stuck in the middle though, or not quite as much?
Well, let's let the lawyer chime in.
it would be non-obvious because I don't think people would ever want to do that. But
I think it actually got made by someone. My brother was really mad. I don't think it took off.
No way. Oh, okay.
I would think the manufacturing of two separate caps would be a lot.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the hardest part to make. I'm not in manufacturing, but I feel like the cap is hard to make.
Yeah.
But I do think, because I hate rolling it up, but the practicality of, as it doesn't really go anywhere. You're right, it might be stuck in the middle, but I'm thinking, can we get one made for us real quick and we can bring it out?
What about this product idea?
Okay.
Have you ever been walking around and there's somebody and they're like, you can't tell if they're actually not human, but instead a pen, like a writing utensil. And if it's like if they're a major writing utensil brand, And so you want some kind of detector to tell if they are, and what if they weren't, if they were that specific brand of pen, if they were a specific, like, kind of a beige color. I don't know. I've got the name. I'm thinking of a iambic pen tan meter. I don't know if that.
No.
Now wait, are you trying to detect? I think I got lost. Are you trying to detect?
Are you going to immediately do being a real pen? Yes. What?
If the person themselves,
if they are in fact a tan bic pen, I am bic pen tan meter.
No wonder you've been so disengaged in this podcast. Your mind's been off doing that for the last 20 minutes.
I've been writing my thesis or whatever. I'm sorry about that. Gee whiz, I took that down the road. How are we going to recover from that one? I don't know.
I am a Bic pen, tan, some sort of meter to judge that by.
Like a, detector.
yeah, that's
Anything like that.
I've never come across anything like that before. Yeah, no.
Yeah, good. So there's still time.
People have been sending me UFO patents because with all the UFO stuff going on.
This is interesting. They're trying to patent something that's flying through this.
Well, no, they'll send me a patent that somebody related to the Navy filed where it looks like it's a flying saucer or something. I'm like, what is going on? So I'll look at, but it's a little odd. Usually I think the people who did it are a little bit out there. But
the truth is out there.
You'll hear people talk about, and they have a patent on something and it has to do with levitating a whole ship or something.
So this isn't people sending you a patent to get made into a patent. This is like they found a patent somewhere and want you to look at it, see if it's legit.
They're like,
real.
Check this out. You wouldn't believe this. And
Do you believe in aliens?
You know what? I think it would be so fun if there were aliens, but I'm a little bit worried everybody has a good cell phone with them and we just don't have any really good video that, I don't know. It seems like...
The truth is relative. It could go either way.
You're diving into lawyer speak now, Wes.
I just think by now we probably would have better evidence of stuff, but it would be fun. I just think it would be really...
That would be...
Because I've always been a Star Trek fan. I've always wanted
That's right. You...
huge Star Trek
on
fan.
your headline series, right? You have those stormtroopers in the background.
That's Star Wars.
Did you just confuse Star Wars and Star Trek?
That's a pretty...
Stars, Trek, Wars, same.
How can you possibly...
I'm just kidding. I wasn't confusing them.
Get him, Wes.
Okay, so you honestly, but you
I was just saying you're a sci-fi fan in general.
Okay. Yes.
Even if you might call Star Wars more of like a space opera fantasy than a sci-fi.
You know what makes me mad is when somebody on YouTube calls my stormtroopers dolls.
What do you call them? Action figures?
Yeah, they're action figures, obviously.
I didn't say I agree with dolls. I was wondering what the correct language was. Okay.
As soon as you said that, I thought, I think that comment was from Jordan on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I like the dolls in the background.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to make sure I said the right word. Because I didn't even call them action figures, but if they're only for display, I don't know if they're action figures. They're just figurines.
Well, I don't see a whole lot of
are you playing
action
with
then.
Okay, no one can play with them because they're cool.
They worth a lot. Are they like originals or anything?
Limited edition?
They're they're the really big ones, like 12 inches.
Where do you get something like that? The Death Store?
That's good.
You're killing it today. I love it. I do want to can I ask one more follow-up question about aliens? If you met aliens, do you think they would like you? They would love you, Wes. I need you to have some confidence that you... If there was one person on this planet that we had to send to talk to aliens, it would be you.
Okay, I think I wouldn't offend them. And so I could talk to them.
Unless they arrived and were like, who is this Wes Austin? We do not like him. They're French aliens. That's not a yes and either. That was a no bad accent.
Okay.
I don't know that I've ever seen somebody do a French accent coming out of an alien before.
That's what was so challenging.
Patent that right now. Can you do it right now?
Nissan, welcome. Would you like to share a cigarette with me? That's what I imagine a French alien sounding like. It's pretty good, Jordan. Give me some credit.
That's very good. Very
nice.
Good. Let me ask this. Dang it, I forgot what I was going to say.
I got one. If you,
I did forget what I was going to say. Sorry.
I wanted to hear about the growth of your headlines channel. What that's been like. For those of you who don't know, maybe we can show a clip on the podcast of our favorite joke. But you do jokes about different news headlines, and it's kind of blown up, right, on YouTube and Instagram and whatnot.
It's finally coming along, yeah. So the channel's Wes Austin, and then I've got them like headlines along the bottom. That's my little logo. But I just crossed 100,000 subscribers.
So are you an influencer now? Do you consider yourself an influencer?
I don't think I am.
I think you are. 100,000?
100,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Well, wait. I actually am I'm monetized, so
There you go.
I'm not
Congrats.
making tons of money, but I'm.
But
getting
I would say you're
little bit of money.
influencing. I'm under the influence of what you've been doing.
Nice. So, are you a subscriber? But
You like
But
to subscribe?
I think I started my channel in 2018, and it didn't do like anything forever. And then I started doing these shorts, like less than 60 seconds, about a headline, and then I just tried to make a joke, and they started getting a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
So I just thought, okay, I'm just going to do this all the time because it was the only thing that got any views.
How often are you putting out new videos?
About every day.
Whoa.
Wow.
Obviously,
It's a lot of work to do that stuff.
You guys haven't
Well, I
checked
know.
it this morning, or you would have known, but that's fine.
I loved.
I had to do research for this podcast.
Yeah.
Then I was going to watch your videos after.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I love today's, by the way.
Oh, good. You liar. You didn't even. You know what? That really.
I was kidding. I was joking. Not that I don't like them, but that I wanted you to test me to see if I knew what it was. I was going to make a joke about what the headline was about.
I will just say this. It was about a particular state. What state was it?
Texas.
You did not watch it. That's fine.
Dang.
California.
Well, I got some catching up to do.
You've been really rude to our guests today. I just want to tell you that. Hey, I remembered. Can I go back to the alien thing? I remember what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be funny anymore. But I would send you to talk to the aliens. Remember when I said that?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
But I wouldn't send them if they were the typical, like, bald-looking aliens. Because you would go in there complaining about your hairline. And they would be like, this guy is complaining? And then they would destroy our planet. Since he has a fantastic hairline, and we came here. He thinks that's bad? What do you think of us? Was it worth it to go back to that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I thought so
I
too.
enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I think it was good.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it came up naturally. So
So, Wes, we've tracked you became a lawyer, you want to do comedy for a while. You started doing comedy after you had already been scared of doing comedy videos, that somebody told you you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Did you have any pushback while you were doing stand-up in the beginning from the similar person or the similar idea? Like, you can't do this and be a respectable lawyer. Was there any conversations about that?
Not really. I would have occasionally, when I'd be at lunches with some other lawyers or clients, occasionally somebody would start to like talk about, wouldn't it be cool to be a stand-up? And then they'd look at me like, okay. And then so they would give me crap about it, but nothing. They didn't ever seem to really do any more than just tease me a little. Like I had some say, like, don't quit your day job, and I'm like, well, I'm not an idiot. I realize I'm not going to get paid anything doing this for forever probably. So I won't quit. But yeah, but that's about it. I didn't ever really get any kind of.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to see your clips coming out on YouTube and also to see your channel blowing up and all that stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited for you. And
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. If you ever see me on the sidewalk laying down, just know it was someone who ran me over who didn't like the joke I made. That's probably. Oh, was that too violent? I'm sorry. Did I just get that censored?
It was a little out of left field. I thought it was. I thought you were saying because you'd be on the sidewalk because like you were unemployed or something, but it was because you got ran over by someone who didn't like your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
They tracked you down. They planned it out.
Yeah.
Well, did you want to say anything about before we get out of here, anything about your dry bar experience, recording your special? How'd you feel about it all? Is it okay we have time for Wes
Absolutely.
to talk about that a little bit before we go?
Yeah, my dry bar. So I did two shows that one night when they were filming my dry, and I remember the first one was I thought I was done. I thought not only will they not post this, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. It was so bad. And I was just like,
you were distraught. But then on the second special,
the second one that night felt a lot better than the first one. So this is all relative.
And that's the one we watch.
Yeah, like they were asking, do you have different bits from the different shows that you think would be better? And I said, the first one was terrible. Do not take one thing from the first one.
Did you do two different sets between the two?
It was the same. Yeah, it was.
They're just asking if you did this joke go better on your 1st one, and we'll stitch it together, type of thing.
I was just like very firmly, do not touch anything
Burn the first
from
tape.
the first. Yeah, because I was basically in tears almost. No, I wasn't, but it was rough. The second one went better, but it was still during
COVID.
The COVID stuff.
Those were hard specials. Heck, boy.
So, okay, did you do it the same?
Special?
I mean, it was tough because people are spread out. But some of them have the masks on, and it's so even when they laugh, you're like, "Did you?" Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
so, I'd say the laughs come through pretty strong on it, though.
I felt,
and I laugh, and I love watching it too. So,
did you guys feel like my pants were too tight?
I'm glad we got to this.
Yeah, we were wondering if you would bring this up.
Well, I don't know.
It was a little distracting. Did you notice every time they cut to an audience shot, they're just staring at your bottom half?
No, it's just when I see it, I thought, I don't know if I just was. It just seemed to.
I thought you looked handsome.
It wasn't
really
too much.
looked great.
Yeah, you were probably the sharpest dressed one for any dry bar special.
I'd agree, and I've watched a lot of footage.
But that doesn't. But it doesn't really translate into views. The way I dress.
The way you look.
Yeah.
Well,
we could find a way.
Let's tell them.
We'll wait till Met Gala week, and then we'll post your special. It'll boost it. Boost the numbers.
Will that do it?
The Met Gala. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're special, aren't you? Millions and millions of views.
No, they said my shirt was ill-fitting.
Yeah. We also posted him during Met Gala week.
Next to pictures of Zendaya in her cool gown.
There was a riot at the gala that year. The most gentle riot ever, but you know.
But it went. I was pretty happy with the second one, and it was
No, it's great. I watched it again last night in preparation for this.
Man, thank you. That probably has doubled the views that I have.
We're trying to promote you on this podcast.
But see, if you guys want... See, he talks about being a lawyer, not telling the truth. There's no one more real than Wes Austin. and he's got a real good special, too. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I would just, go watch my YouTube channel. Should I look or should I look at you guys?
Which one, Taylor?
Go ahead and look at this one.
You can go to my YouTube channel. It's under Wes Austin. And then you can also follow me on Instagram, which is Wesley.Austin2.
You sold it, Wes.
I wanted to get, but
cool.
I couldn't get Wes Austin. It was not.
Well, have you met Wes Austin one?
He's the worst. You're way better. Is that what you were going to say?
Well.
What was he like?
Very well dressed. pants fit him perfectly.
Better
No, that
than-
was you.
Oh, God.
That was you.
Oh.
I
thought-
Wes Austin.
I thought he was talking about another Wes Austin, didn't you?
I did. He's been
And you just
throwing
we
us
just,
for loops all
I've
podcast.
been zigging when you want me to zag all this whole podcast.
You already know I'm paranoid about my pants fitting wrong, and then you say like, "Yeah, I met the real Wes Austin, and his pants fit." And then like I thought it's
that was
right
a roundabout way to reinforce you, but I could see how it's confusing. Well, you've been a joy to have on the podcast.
I want to say you're genuinely one of my favorite people in the world of comedy I've ever met. Genuinely.
you.
And you're very funny.
Same.
Thank you so much.
And I
mean,
wish
feel-
you loved yourself as much as we love you. That's how I feel.
I'm working on it, but thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are actually my favorites as well.
You don't have to reciprocate.
No, really. When I was on when I was on shows with you guys, I was always like, "Yes, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
It'll be a
same.
fun.
Same.
Always
Maybe we'll do
fun.
a show with the three of us sometime, huh?
I think
We
we just
should.
did. I think we just ended it. A
that's it.
podcast show.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the Dry Bar Comedy Podcast. We're signing off. Until
Yeah.
next time.